recording. There we go. Okay, so again, it is Thursday, September 17th. Been talking for a little bit, just review. We're going over right now the status bar and the different elements on the status bar. These are the 4 elements you typically want to have turned on at all times. We just went over dynamic input. And the next one we're going to work on right now is the next tool, which is polar tracking. Polar tracking is what allows you to draw at right angles, 90-degree angles, or other angles. Okay, you can draw 30-degree angles. We saw that with drawing, I think it was drawing D. Drawing D, we actually set that up, so we did that. So we have that right there. So we got that together. Okay, now moving on here and making this clear here. If we can get this to work again. Okay, over here. So you got the polar tracking, you got dynamic input, and then over here, you've got object snap tracking. Object snap tracking allows you, it looks like an alligator right down here. This allows you to actually use your object snaps to draw lines from different elements. I'll show you how this works. We'll work with this right here. And so the object snap tracking works with your object snaps. We've learned about the object snaps. That's your endpoint, midpoint, center, intersection, extension, and all the others that are out there. So these are the basics right here. So I call these 4 tools the 4 horsemen of the CAD apocalypse. You want to have these 4 turned on when you're working with AutoCAD, okay? And that's just so that you're able to have AutoCAD give you predictable results. So that's something. I know part of learning AutoCAD is learning the vocabulary and learning how to operate the interface. In my years of AutoCAD, having worked with it for a long time, if you have those 4 turned on, it'll give you the most predictable results. Once you know AutoCAD better, you can turn those on and off as you choose to, but for right now, that will help you, okay, just to know that. So that's the 4 horsemen. Okay, just kind of going over these things, making sure you guys are getting these right here. Okay, we talked about properties a little bit earlier, so we talked about that. One of the things that I started to talk about but I didn't get too far is annotation styles. We'll talk about that right now. Now, getting back over to AutoCAD, let me go back to here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over to here. And we'll talk about what annotation styles do. Okay, I'll go over here and I'm going to go ahead and share this. Now, in this one right here, this is an easy one. When you're working with AutoCAD, pay attention to this right here. Up here, you have this. These are your annotation styles. Your annotation styles are your text styles, your dimension styles, your multi-leader styles. Those are the 3 basics that we have right there. So you've got text styles. Well, let's see what kind of text styles we have here. You've got annotative and you got standard. Now, what's the difference between the 2? Well, standard essentially will give you a fixed height for your text, and that's all it will ever do. And if you need it larger or smaller, you scale it like we did before. Annotative, on the other hand, is a bit more flexible, a lot more flexible. Annotative allows you to put in your text, and then you can just scale it with the AutoCAD tools. I'll show you what I mean by that. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 things right now. I'm going to click on this text. And when I click on the text, I'm going to right-click on it. We talked about this, and then we go to what? Properties. We go to Properties. And when we go to Properties, we can see some of the elements that are part of this. And one of the things we want to look at is the style. Here, I've got the ability to change the style. I've got Standard. I've got Annotative. You see, Annotative is a pretty ugly looking font, but that's okay for right now. We'll go to Annotative. We'll fix that later. When I click on Annotative, we'll see that it looks like this right here. Well, okay, it looks like that, but let me show you something else that's interesting here. When you're working with an annotative style right here, you can go down here to where it says 1/4 inch equals a foot. And what this is going to do, watch what it does here, is this will automatically scale the size. You see it just got larger? So as I go through here right now, if I go ahead and make it 1/16, it makes it even larger. So when you go through these things right here, this is how you could actually have the text scale without having to going through the procedure of going in there and changing the height and going in there and doing it directly. This is a much more elegant way to do it. Now, in addition to this, you can assign a different font to a text style. Okay, so let me show you what we do there. So to take a look at these right here, all of these tools with the paintbrush, each one of them invokes the particular tool to work with your styles. So is this something you've seen before, Shane? Hello, hello? You with me, Shane? I guess not. All right, so we're gonna go here. Can you guys hear me still?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to click on this right here. This is the text style. I'm going to click on text style. When I click on text style, it opens up the text style dialog box. Now watch this. What you're seeing right here is I got annotative and I got standard. So if I click on annotative, you'll notice that the font name is TXT and it gives me a preview down here. Oh, that's why my font looks so bad. That's why my text looks so ugly. So I can change it here, and you typically want to keep it something that's a standard Windows type of font. And so I'm just going to use Arial. Arial's right up here. I click on Arial and I'm going to hit apply and then I hit close. And look what happened once I do that. Okay, let's see here. All right, come on, update there you. I might have to regen. Okay, there's, you might have to regenerate your screen. By the way, let me just show you that again. What did he just do there? What I just did there is I typed a command called regen right here. By the way, to see your text screen, to the text screen with all the history on it, you hit your F2 key. That's your function 2 key, and that's going to open up your history. Okay, so regen. What does regen do? Well, regen regenerates your drawing. So when you put a change in your drawing, it does happen sometimes that AutoCAD doesn't update your graphics immediately. It's just the way it is. So here's something that I've been working with since 1989, actually 1990 when I first started working with AutoCAD. You have to type in regen. So in that particular case, I knew I made the change, but it wasn't showing up. So you might say, hey, AutoCAD sucks, it's broken. No, you have to type in regen. So you type in regen, hit the enter key, and then it regenerates as we just saw there. Hopefully you guys saw how that worked, and that's why that's looking the way it is right now. So that's a very brief introduction to what annotation styles do. Okay, so you can have annotative scaling as part of it. An annotative style will do this 1/4 inch scaling type thing. So if I go back here, if I say, let's make it 3/8, it's gonna make it smaller. If I go back out here, let's go ahead and make it 1 inch equals a foot, makes it even smaller. Then I can just go back and say, let's make it 1/4 inch. So that's what your text styles do. That's something you're gonna run into. So as you get into them, if there isn't one there, you can make your own. Okay, it's that easy to work with. So as we get into this is something that we'll touch on maybe a little bit more, but I just wanted you to understand that all these things are able to be edited in AutoCAD, either through properties or through the styles. That's just to show you you've got control over this stuff. Okay, so now that we've done that, we got a basic idea as far as what those are. And one of the things I wanted to kind of go over here as well is polar tracking to make sure you guys are clear about that. So let's all do this. We're gonna do a little exercise together. So let's go ahead and close out of AutoCAD. Let's open up AutoCAD right now. I assume you all have AutoCAD in front of you. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna close out of here, save changes, no. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start a new drawing. And we are going to use, we'll just use the acad.dwg. We'll just use the default template. So do this with me. We're going to go here, and I'm on AutoCAD 2018. I don't want to be there. So I'm going to close out AutoCAD 2018. Close out of there. I'm going to close, okay. All right, good. I'm going back over to here, and I'm going to open up AutoCAD 2021. Looks like I closed, that's over here. So can you guys see AutoCAD 2021 right now?
Yes.
Okay. So here at AutoCAD 2021, let's all open this up. And what we're going to do right here is one thing that Alex was telling me is he was having an issue with his templates. Now here's the thing: when you're working with AutoCAD, AutoCAD will prompt you for a template. You can also just simply double click and start AutoCAD, but let's be very clear about what we want to do right here. To be very clear, let's go to application menu, which is right up here, the red letter A, and click on new. Let's go ahead and do it this way, just because we want it to prompt us for a template. So go to the application menu, you should be able to click on new. Now, when you click on new, it should show up like this. You should see this. You should see some red icons associated with your different templates. And what you've got right here is you've got one of them down here called acad.dwt. acad.dwt. So what we're going to do is we're going to open that. We'll open up acad.dwt, and this is our default template. Okay, so there's nothing fancy going on here. This is just plain old middle of the road AutoCAD, nothing too special. So we got this right here. Okay, let me just ask a couple questions here. Julius, do you have that drawing open yet?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Kelly, do you have that open yet? You hear me, Kelly?
No.
Nope. Okay. Okay, Alex, you got that open?
Yep.
Shane, you got that?
I'm just getting back. What's going on? I'm sorry.
We're starting a new drawing right now. And so Dimitri, you got that?
Yeah.
Okay. Nate, you got that?
I believe so.
What was that?
I believe so. Is it cutting out?
It should look like this right now. It should just be a blank drawing that says drawing 1 or drawing 2 at the top.
Yep.
Okay. Eduardo, do you have that?
Yes. Do you want us to have the graph on it or?
Nope. Just don't worry about that for right now. We'll take care of that in a minute. Shannon, do you have that?
Yeah.
Okay. Shane, we just started a new drawing and we use the acad.dwg template. Okay, so we have that. So now that we all have this in place, yes, you might have your grid on, you might not. Now let me show you again. Let me just kind of review what's going on with this. Okay, if I'm using this right here, down here, this is your grid. This is what turns this on and off. It's a toggle, okay? We talked about this before in the first week, but just to kind of make it clear what we do here is if I go ahead and click on this, it turns it on or off. It's a toggle, okay? All right, now you see it, now you don't. Okay, so that's what that does. We can just leave it off right now. We don't need it on. So you can just leave it off. But that's something that some people like, and it's something that, you can definitely, you'll have a preference as you get along right now. For it, you'll have a preference as you move along and get to know AutoCAD better. Right now, don't worry about it so much. So now let me show you something here. What we're going to take a look at now is how polar tracking works. What does polar tracking do? Well, polar tracking is this tool down here, and what it allows us to do, it allows us to go ahead and to draw at certain angles. We saw this in drawing D last couple weeks ago. So you got this right here. So this is how we can actually change AutoCAD to allow us to draw at different angles. So what we're going to do, we're going to change it so that it draws at 45-degree angles. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to click on the arrow to the right of the polar tracking tool. And when you go there, you'll see you can go to tracking settings, which is what we're going to do. So we're going to choose tracking settings. And when we choose tracking settings right now, you'll notice that you've got all these different settings. These are all part of AutoCAD's presentation for drafting settings. So you've got polar tracking. Now under polar tracking right now, we're going to change the increment angle from whatever it is right now to 45. We want it to be 45 and that's all. So it's going to be 45. Now when you do that, what AutoCAD's going to do is it will allow you to draw at any increment of 45 degrees starting at 0. So that means it'll draw at 0. It'll draw at 45 degrees, 90, 135, 180, 225, 270, 315, and 360. So all of those are going to be available right now. So instead of just having your right angles, your essentially your north, south, east, and west, you're now going to have your subpoints, okay, which would be kind of like I think called subcardinal points. But anyway, we're not going to worry about that. We'll just make it 45 and hit OK. Now once we've done that, we're going to do something that's pretty cool here. What we're going to do is we're going to draw an octagon, and we're going to draw an octagon with a polyline. So the polyline is this command right up here. You've got line, you got polyline. So we're going to choose polyline. Now watch this. Once you've started polyline, we're going to pick a point anywhere kind of towards the bottom center of our screen. We're going to click. We're going to pull it over to the right. Now, I got my hands off it right now. You'll notice that you have a dashed line going over towards the right. As long as you have polar tracking on, you're going to see that. That's called a tracking vector. What color is that dashed line?
Green.
It's green. When you see that dashed green line, that green is a temporary tracking vector. So we pull it over to the right, and we're going to give it a distance of, let's go ahead and type in 3. Type in 3 and hit enter. So what we just did there is we drew a line at 3 inches, okay? Now, I could continue to pull over to the right, but now I want to go 45 degrees. So I'm going to pull it right here, and watch what happens. When I pull it up, it locks in at 45 degrees, and my hands are not on the mouse. It's doing it automatically because I set it up. So now, in the same way it used to track at 0, 90, 180, and 270, now I'm getting these 45-degree angles too. So I got these 45-degree angles. So now that I got this, I'm going to type in again 3. So I type in 3. Okay, now from there, I want to go straight up because again, I'm drawing an octagon. Okay, so this next one's going to go straight up. So I pull it straight up, and that distance is also going to be 3. You'll notice it's going straight up. That's 90 degrees. So I type in 3 and hit enter. Now we're going to go back this way. Now when I pull it this way, you're going to notice it's still at a 45-degree angle, but it's locking in. What's that angle there? As you pull in this angle right here, what is that angle?
135.
Yeah, it's 135 degrees. That means that what's happening is we're actually going around the circle. We're going around the compass. So now we're going in this direction. That's 135 degrees, and that's also going to be 3. So I type in 3 again, hit our enter key. Now to the left, and this one's going to flatten out to 180. So now we're going to 180. So we pull over to the left, and we're going to type in 3 again. Now we go back down this way and it locks in going in this direction. What's the angle as we lock it in going in this direction?
225.
225. So pay attention to these angles because you're going to be using them a lot as you draft. You're going to be using these quite a bit. So you have these right here. It's 225. That's going to be 3 and hit your enter key. All right, then next what you're going to do is you're going to pull it straight down. Now this distance is 90 degrees. You're going, actually it's 270. It's 270, but it's a 90-degree angle. So it's 270. It says it right there. We type in 3. And then to complete it, we can either snap to it using an endpoint object snap, or how could we actually get AutoCAD to complete this shape?
Close.
Close.
You use close by right-clicking and choosing close, or typing the letter C, or clicking on close on the command line, or hitting your down arrow and doing it that way. So we use close, and we got that. So that is how polar tracking works. Polar tracking allows you to create any kind of angular input that you need to make, any kind of model that you need right there, and it allows you to go ahead and lock in at whatever you set it up as. Okay, so that's what you got going on right there. So that's what polar tracking is. I want to make sure we went over that again because that's something that you will be using as you go along here. That is polar tracking. Very useful for not just doing 90-degree angles, but you have to have it for doing architectural plans because you got to have that 90-degree angle right there. So 45 will work for our 90-degree angle too, because it's part of that. So we're good to go there. Okay, now the last thing I want to do, now that we've drawn this shape, I want to do a quick review of object snap tracking. We've talked about this. I want to go over it again real quickly. Now your object snaps are actually located down here. They're actually one of the 4 horsemen of the Cad Apocalypse. It's this circle with a square with another square on top of it right down here. That's your polar tracking. And there's a triangle to the right of it. We're going to click on that triangle. And when we click on that triangle, it's going to bring up your object snap settings. So we click there and it opens up object snap settings. Please notice that you've got snap and you've got object snap. We're talking about object snap right now. So we'll go to object snap. Now, when we get to here, you want to basically have it set up like this: endpoint, midpoint, center. You might not, if you just started AutoCAD from a fresh install, this will not be saying midpoint. So you want to make sure you have midpoint on. So endpoint, midpoint, center, intersection, extension. Those five will get you through 90 to 95% of any drafting project you have, particularly architectural. So you want to have those on. So you make sure those are on. Now, once those are on, the next thing we're going to do right now is we are now going to go ahead and we're going to draw diagonal lines across this. So how do we do that? Well, we go ahead and start our line command here. And when I start my line command, I'm going to take it and bring it right here. And when I put it right here, a certain object snap is displayed. What's that object snap that's displaying right there?
Endpoint.
Endpoint. And what is the shape associated with it?
It's a square.
It's a square. So that's exactly right. So we're going to click here and we're going to pull it down, and we really can't go diagonally. So we're just going to do the best that we can. So we'll go to here, we'll just click there. So we'll go ahead and do that. Now, when you're done doing a line in AutoCAD, you can either right click to end it or hit your escape key. You can just do it that way. So we did that. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to put a couple more. We're just going to go ahead and do endpoint to endpoint for these. Okay, we're going to do that. Just going to go ahead and go from here to here and go around like this. And I'm just doing this using my endpoints, okay? Okay, so go ahead and do that. You're kind of looks like a diamond there, okay? So just go ahead and do that. And what we just did there is we used our endpoint object snaps to snap from endpoints. Now, the next object snap we're going to look at is going to be midpoint. Now, all your object snaps work in the same way. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my line command here. I'm going to go to the midpoint here. And the midpoint looks like this. And what's the shape associated with the midpoint object snap?
Triangle.
It's a triangle. So we click here and we click here. And again, this is just review. I want to make sure that everyone's on the same page. And some of us have missed a couple of classes, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And we'll just go ahead and leave it like that. This is just to show you how to use object snaps and how using them enables you to draw with great precision. This is all part of it. So your polar tracking, your status bar, all these things being turned on and what they do, this is powerful stuff right here. So you have all that. Okay. Now, once you've got that, I'm going to show you one more thing. And I'm going to show you something that's kind of cool here. Now we're going to take a look at object snap tracking. Once we have this shape defined, we want to draw another object over to the right. And we want it to be drawn exactly, and it's over to the right. Okay, so how do I do that? Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this. I'll start the line command. So you start the line command, okay? So with no command running, we start the line command. Now watch what I'm going to do here. Now my hands, okay, my hands are right up here. So what I'm going to show you right here is that it says specify first point. Notice what that says. So I'm going to touch it here without clicking. Me no click. I didn't click. I'm going to pull it over to the right. Now when I pull it over to the right without clicking, it is basically allowing me right now to tell it how far away I want it. And I'd said 6, so I'm going to type in 6. So I'll type in 6 and hit my enter key. Boom. So when I did that, I started to draw this line exactly 6 lines away from there. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and draw a line. I'll just go ahead and make that 3 units long and do that. So I went ahead and did that. So that is how I could draw a line exactly 6 units away from my other object. That's using object snap tracking. I'll do it one more time. So I'll start my line command, touch it here without clicking. Okay, I'm not clicking. When I pull it over, however, it's tracking. And then I tell it how far away I want it to go, 6. And then it starts it, and then I go over 3.
He's letting Riley drive.
Nice.
Like that.
And he did it on his own without me saying anything.
Hello, Kelly. Is someone talking right now? Just mute
Yeah,
your microphone.
you're fine. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's yeah. I just want to make sure that yeah. So you guys keep your privacy. I have done a lot of this training, and you would be surprised at some of the things I've heard. You know, so just if you don't want to be heard, make sure you got your microphone muted. Okay, the hazards of Zoom meetings. Okay, so moving on along here. Now that we've got that, okay, did that make sense with the object snap tracking? Did you all try that, or did any of you kind of hit the wall? Let me know. Be honest.
I like it.
Okay, you like it? Okay, so that's how we go ahead and make that happen. And you could do the same thing with a lot of other things too here. Like let's say I want to draw a circle. Okay, so if I go here to my circle command, I could go circle center radius, go ahead and go here. And I can go ahead and touch it here and pull that up. Okay, and it says how far you want it up. I'll go ahead and say 4. And then how big do I want it? I'll go ahead and say 0.5 like that. So you can go ahead and space your content very precisely too. So I'm gonna go over here. I think I said, what did I say, 4? Yeah. And I'll say 0.5 like that. And this is what allows me to now put this together here by just touching it and pulling it down here. And this is how you could actually begin to put in content in AutoCAD with a lot of precision like that. And so these are some things that are tools that you have right there. So that's object snap tracking. Okay, so it's using object snaps and it tracks using them. Hence the name, object snap tracking. So those are some of the basic tools that we're going to be working with right here. So I just want to review those because as we go along here, we're going to be using them all the time, everything we do. So we got that right there. Now, one of the things that we did talk about was polylines. We just went over that right there. I showed you that when you make a polyline, it's all one entity. When you make a polyline, it's all one. The other lines I have right here, those were just drawn with lines. So polylines are always going to be a whole entity. Very useful for when you're drawing building perimeters, because then you can just make an exterior wall very easily by using that. So that's where we want to do that. Okay, great. So we have that going on right here. Okay, we went over last week the bracket review. Okay, we're just about we're about 50 minutes in. Let's just take we'll take about a 5-minute break and we'll come back. So let's take 5 minutes. Okay, that covers the first part of the lecture. We'll come back and then we're going to start talking about the lecture for tonight. So let's go ahead and take 5. We'll come back. Okay, we're back. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, great. What we're going to do now is we are going to launch into the projects for this week, and we're going to go ahead and work on these. The first one is going to be the floor plan 2. And this is essentially what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be doing a couple things here. Let me show you what the project is, and we're going to kind of come back and I'm going to do a little bit of an overview as far as how this whole thing's going to work. So first of all, let me do a new share here. Let me go do a new share. And I'm going to go back out to, let's see here. Yeah, right here should do it. Okay, can you guys see Blackboard okay right now?
Yep.
Okay, here is what tonight's project looks like. It is floor plan 2. And I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And so what you've got right there, let me show you what it looks like. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to download this. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open it up. All right, so go ahead and do that. And we'll go ahead and save it. Okay, and it looks like this here. So I'm going to do this. Okay, now what is it? What is going on here? Well, it's another floor plan, only it's a whole lot more going on than the last one. So first of all, let's talk about what we're looking at right here. What is a floor plan? So I'm going to teach a little bit about architecture. One of the things that I did when I was a young man, I was 30 years old. I actually designed a house and had it built in Madison Heights, Michigan. And so that required that I learn an awful lot about architecture and the different kinds of plans and so forth. So I went ahead and did that and it worked out fine. So what we're going to be looking at right now are essentially the same kind of elements. Now we're going to keep it simple. We're not going to go too crazy with it because there's a lot of details that can wind up in a set of construction documents that we don't need to get to. But the most familiar thing that most people think of when they think about architecture is a floor plan. They think, okay, what does it look like? They would call it a blueprint. They might call it a floor plan, or they would call it, you know, a room plan or something like that. But this is essentially what you're looking at. This is a floor plan. Now, this floor plan, as you take a look at it right now, has a little more complexity to it. And you're going to notice a couple things about it. Okay, you're going to notice that down here, there's actually a 34-foot wall here. Exterior dimension, and then right here you've actually got a wall that comes up to here, and then it goes back in, and then you got a front door and so forth. So you got all this going on. So you got all these kind of things happening right here. Then you've got a kitchen area right here. You've got a few things happening here, and this is what you guys are going to draw. So you're going to draw this, and I prepared a template for this. But before we get into that, let me go off and talk about something else here, and that is this. I'm going to go back here. And we're going to cover a little bit about what we didn't get to last week, which is construction concepts. Construction concepts. Now, we're going to do this quiz. We'll do this together. So I'll have you guys go ahead and follow through so that I'm going to give you these answers right here. It's a quiz. Really, they're more like a review. So I like to go through them in classes so you guys have them right here. So what are we going to look at right now? We're going to talk about what is in a set of construction documents when you're working in an architectural office or something else. You've got these kind of things going on right here. What have I got going on here? Okay, let's see here. Okay.
Anybody else still here?
I'm here. I just had a question. I had Sue ask a question. Okay, good. Okay, good. We're good to go. I'm here. All right, here we go. And we haven't crashed yet. He said with holding. I corrected something on my machine. Hopefully that fixed it. We'll find out, and we'll take it from there. So that sounds good. And looks like my neighbor just came over. She probably wants to take the dog for a walk. Our dog has turned into like the community dog. Let me do this real quickly here. Let me close this out. And we'll do this, and yeah. All right. So what I got going on, our dog is like the community dog. She's a golden retriever. I think I mentioned this before. I think at least one or two of you guys had goldens, right? And who out there has a golden? Anybody else have a golden? Is that a no? Can you guys hear me okay?
I
I
don't.
can hear you.
No,
I don't
okay.
have-
I don't have one.
No one's got a golden retriever. Okay, I've got a golden retriever. This is my second, and our first one, she became. We lived up in Clayton, New York, which is, you know, we lived right across from a golf course, and we lived next to the family that owned it. And so the guy next door, he was an older gentleman who was actually kind of sick, and our dog would just, we didn't know where she'd go. She'd just kind of leave, and she'd be gone for a few hours, and then she'd come home, and it's like, hey, where were you? You know, we didn't know her. So it's like after a week or so of this. Our neighbor came over and thanked us. Oh, I just want to thank you so much. What for? Well, your dog. Your dog comes over and she just sits with Flower. It's a guy's name. His name was Flower. He was Italian, and he just sits there, and the dog just sits there with Flower and keeps him company. And so, well, I hope you don't mind, but we feed the dog, and you know, we just give the dog steak and stuff from the restaurant. So no, it's okay. So my dog was over at this guy's house eating steak and eating better than we were. You know, I was raising 4 kids. So my dog would over there and eat steak. She was a community dog, and then she'd go other places too, and everyone loved her, so she's great. This dog's becoming the same thing. These Goldens just have this appeal. Everyone loves them. They all think about Marley and me or something, but they're these really wonderful dogs. So anyway, she's out there. She's a community dog. Our neighbors actually come and ask if they can take her for a walk. I'm not making it up. So anyway, get yourself a Golden if you want to make friends. It really works. So here we go. So what we're going to look at now is something that's going to be probably reviewed to you, but maybe not everyone. So we're going to go over this real quickly here. So let's check this out. Over here in Blackboard, I want you guys to go here with me. It's on Construction Concepts Week 3. And right here, we're going to go to the Construction Documents Quiz. Let's go through this, okay? We're going to do this quiz together. Construction Documents Quiz. And what we're going to do right now is we are going to just go ahead and we're going to kind of work with this and see how this works. So let's go ahead and do this. So looking at this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it. Right here, it says the instructions. We can go ahead and continue it. So this one, it's going to let you take it more than once. So if you don't like your response, you can take it again. But click on continue. When you click on continue, we get into this right here. Here's the test information. Use one of the choices below for each question. Okay, so you've got foundation plan, you've got elevation plan, electrical plan, site plan, floor plan, plumbing plan, and section plan. That's what we have right here. Okay, this test allows 2 attempts. Okay, now, so let me ask you this right here. Question number 1, a drawing that displays a plan view of walls, doors, and windows is called what? Which of these choices would be the best one there?
Floor plan.
Yeah, it'd be floor plan. So we're just going to type that in, floor plan, like that. So it's floor plan. Okay, so we've got that. Now the next one, question 2. A drawing that displays a plan view of the basement walls and underground elements is a what? Which of these choices would work there?
Foundation plan.
You got that right, foundation plan. Okay, foundation plan. And if you don't want to spell, you can cut and paste these, all right? Okay, question number 3, a drawing that displays the orthographic projection of one side of a structure is what? Now, an orthographic projection, what that means is a straight on view. Okay, in other words, if you're looking at a structure from the outside and you're seeing like the profile of it, what would that be called?
Section.
Actually, no, try again.
Would it be site plan?
Nope.
Elevation.
It's an elevation plan. Thank you, Eduardo. An elevation. Now, here's an important thing. Thank you. I'm glad we asked that question because one thing about this is an elevation is essentially think about if you were looking like when you're drawing, if you're seeing like a plan of a structure and you're looking at a straight on view of it. That's an elevation. And there's going to be a north, south, east, and west elevation minimally. There might be more than that too. Or they might call it north, south. They might call it right, left. They might have a different configuration, but typically it's going to be north, south, east, and west. Or it might say front, back, right, left. It might say that too. So that's an elevation plan. So an elevation is when you're looking straight on an object, okay? So let me give you a quick example. I'll show you this real quickly while we're here. So just to see what it is. To show you what an elevation plan looks like, I'm going to stay here. What the heck? All right, I will. Okay, geez, come on. Okay, this is kind of messing me up. Okay, hang on a second here. Okay. All right, I'll do that. Okay, so I'm back to here. So a drawing that displays the orthographic projection of one side of a structure is called an elevation plan. So you got that. So it's elevation plan. We got that. Now, next one, question 4. A drawing that displays a cut through the body of a building perpendicular to the horizon line is a
That section?
That section, yeah. So that would be your section plan right there. That's where you cut through, yep. So yeah, you got that. So section plan. Okay, next one, question 5. A drawing that displays a landscape architectural plan and a detailed engineering drawing of proposed improvements to a given lot is a...
Site.
It's a site plan. It's exactly right. So it's a site plan. So that's your site plan. Okay, and then a drawing that displays wiring, light fixtures, and switches is a... Wiring and switches, which would it be?
Electrical.
You got that right. And okay, and then the last one, a drawing that displays piping, water supply, sinks, and toilets is a...
Plumbing.
Yep, plumbing plan. And this particular case, you've actually got to write it all out just like that to get it right. So once you're done, you go save and submit. You've got that. We're going to hit OK. And then we say OK to see what our grade is. We look down here, and we got them all right. So one done, we got them all done. So we got that. So now that we've done that, let's go ahead and go back to what we were discussing. Let me go back to here. First of all, we talked about elevation. Let me just kind of give you an idea as far as what an elevation is. This is a front elevation. We're going to be doing this next week just to show you what it looks like. So what does it look like? It looks like this here. I'm going to go to here, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to download it. And once I've downloaded, I'm going to open it just to show you what it looks like. Here is a elevation plan. The elevation plan is showing us the same structure, only a front-on view as you're looking at it right from the front. That's an elevation. And there can be interior elevation views, which would mean you'd be looking at the inside of a wall where maybe the furniture and what the windows would look like and so forth, or an exterior. In this case, this is an exterior elevation. So you're looking at what the structure looks like from the outside, showing you the windows and so forth. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. So that's an elevation. Now you will always remember that. Okay, so back to here. I'm going to go back over to here, and this is what we were working on. Can you guys see the floor plan now that I discussed before?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to work on this, and we're going to be doing, as we get into this right now, we're going to be drawing this particular structure. We're going to be drawing the floor plan. Next, we're going to be doing the elevation. Then we're going to be doing the foundation plan. And then we're going to be doing a wall section through it, and we're going to be doing all that. And then we'll be doing a site plan. And then we start to do Revit after that. So we get into all that. So here's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and work on this right now. So as we get into this, let's go ahead and move forward. So now that we have this right here, let's see what we do. I've already printed this out for myself, so I'm going to go ahead and start this. But notice that it gives me dimensions, and it gives me a few other things here. I've done a lot of work for you guys to make it a little bit easier for you. So we're going to go over and we're going to kind of like work on this right now. So I'll show you how we're going to start with this. So first of all, I do have a template for you. So let's go ahead and find the template. So back out here, I'm going to go to Floor Plan 2, Assignment. And what I've got right here is the Floor Plan 2 Southfield 2020 template, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna download it. And that just downloaded, Floor Plan 2. Now, you wanna take note of where it went to. Mine's going to download. You could just double click on it. And if you've only got AutoCAD 2021 on your machine, it'll go ahead and just open it up with that one. So you guys can just do that. You just double click on it. All right, for me, I'm gonna do it differently. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go to my AutoCAD 2021, and I'm going to close this, and you guys can't see that, so let me go ahead and share my screen with you. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to share it. Can you guys see AutoCAD 2021 now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So watch this now. So now that I've done this, I'm going to go to the application menu. I'm going to go to new, and I'm going to go and find the template. Now mine went to my downloads, so I got to go find my downloads. So I go to here, and typically it's going to be under the user. In my case, it's Thomas Brennan. And then under downloads, and I should see right there floor plan. And if I've done it more than once, it's gonna ratchet up that number. Okay, so I've got this right here, and I've got this, and I've got floor plan 2, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to double click on that, boom, boom, and that opens that up. Okay, so I've got this right here. This should be the one that I wanted. Let me see if it is. Okay, make sure it's the right one here. Make sure it's the right one. Okay. Okay, faucet sink. Nope, that's not the one that I wanted. Okay, that's not the one I wanted. Okay, so let me do a different one because the one you got out there should be available. Try this one more time. I'm going to go to open, And we're going to go to open, and actually, no, we want to use new. Sorry about that. So we're going to go to new. I'll make sure I gave you guys, I think I gave you guys the right one. I hope I did. And let's see here. So Thomas Brennan downloads. I saved it several times to make sure you guys had the right one. So floor plan, okay, yeah, 711, this is the one I want. Floor plan 2, it's capitalized, Southfield. So that's the one I want right there. And that one should be, yeah, this one's, okay, this is it right here. So I open this one up right here. And yes, okay, I put a bunch of blocks in here for you guys to make life easier for you. So that's something that we'll get to. So you start the drawing. Let's go ahead and start the drawing, and we're going to use that template. Let me know if any of you guys need a hand with that. I realize some of you guys might just be watching, but the thing is, I want you guys to have a chance to do this. Does anyone need more time?
I'm here.
You good? You're good? Okay. Okay, we're going to go ahead and work on this then. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and start to draw this. So again, the drawing that we're working on is this one right here. And I would recommend you print it out. So you've got that. And once you've got this right here, you will go ahead and do this. So just to kind of like talk about what it looks like, just so that you guys get an idea, I'm going to start the basics on this. Then I'm going to let you guys, go ahead and jump into this. So I'm going to go to here, and let's see here. Where is this one? Let's see here. I went through here, and floor plan. Yeah, this is it right here. Can you guys see this right here? Can you see the floor plan 1 drawing right now?
Yes.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do right here is I'm going to draw the exterior perimeter. Now it goes 42 feet by 34 feet down, and then this is 14, and then back 6'3", and then all the way out to here, and then it goes back this distance right here, okay? Now I could go ahead and draw all the way down here, or I could go ahead and try to draw this chimney right now. I could do it either way. Either way will work. I'm just going to draw it without doing the chimney. I'll do the chimney in a minute, but let me show you how this works. So I'm going to start by drawing this. So it's 42 by 34, and I'll do the other. So back over to here. I'm going to go and reshare my screen here. Back over to AutoCAD. So what I'm going to do here is you'll notice that my current layer right now is actually set right now to walls. So that makes life really easy. So I start my Polyline command. You always want to use your Polyline for exterior walls. And I'm going to go here. I'm going to type in 42 feet. And then I go down 34 feet. Okay, and then once I've done that, I'm going to go over here 14 feet. All right, over this direction, 14 feet, boom. And then back in this direction, 6'3". Okay, and then I'm going to pull it over here. Now when I pull over 6'3", and I'm going down in this direction right now, one thing I'm going to do is I could actually use my object snap tracking by touching it here. When I touch it here, it gives me this point, okay? Now, I could type in the distance, or I could do it this way. This is called object snap tracking. That's a really useful thing. I haven't clicked on anything yet. I just touched it. I'll show you that one more time. I touch it here, okay? And when it gives me this tracking vector, I can just pull it straight down. I didn't click, I just touched it. And then I do this. So AutoCAD's gonna let me do a lot of things just like that. So I've got that right there, boom, I've got that. Okay, now I've got my chimney. Now the chimney, I'll just go ahead and do this because I've got it written down here. So I got 3'2" by 2'6", so that would be 5'8", and then it goes out 2 feet, 5'8" and 2 feet. Okay, so I'll do that. So I'll go Polyline from here. 5'8", 5'8", and then out 2 feet, 2 feet, and then it goes down to 4'8", 4'8", boom, and then back. Okay, so once I've got that, that kind of does that. Now, what I got right here, now I got a problem because the two are not joined together, okay? So what would I do there? How would I go ahead and fix that? Well, I could do it a couple of different ways. When you're working with AutoCAD, to join these two together, I can do an explode. An explode takes a polyline and turns it into just mortal lines, okay? It takes it from its elevated status as a polyline and just makes it lines. So I'm gonna explode it. Now what's the explode command look like? Looks like this here. It looks like a box coming apart. That's your explode command. So what I'm gonna do right here, I'm gonna go ahead and highlight that. So you guys are all clear about it. I'm gonna go here and we'll do that one more time if I can. Come on, you. All right, annotate right here. So the explode command looks like this here. It looks like a cube coming apart. That's it right there. So we got that, and so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to use that. So I'm gonna explode it. So when I explode it, it allows me to explode this All right, so that's all exploded. Now at this point, I've got this information. So now I'm just gonna use my trim command and trim out this piece right there. Just trim that out. That's what you want it to look like, because that's what your ultimate purpose is gonna be. And now what I wanna do, I wanna join it together. So to join it together, I use a really cool and time-saving feature that is called, that is actually known as join. Okay, join allows me to do just that. So I'm gonna use my join command. So I use join. Now join is actually down here. You got modify down here, and it's actually under there. So if I go here and pull it down, you'll see I got join, which is right here. Join looks like this, okay? You could also type the letter J, but if I start the join command, it says, okay, what do you want to join? I'll just grab all this and hit my enter key, and now look what happens. I click on it, it's all joined together, okay? So that's something, a little further information on the polyline. You can do it. So you can draw this a couple of different ways. I'm just showing you another option to get the line drawn. You guys can do it. You'll figure it out. So you've got that, and you can always join lines together. And if you forget how, don't forget. You can always go to help right here and type in things like what did Professor Brennan say? And I could go here and I could just type in what I want. So I could say, okay, how do I join? All right, what do I do with my join command? To join objects. Here's a join command. Oh, there it is. And where is it? Okay, where is it? Okay, let's go ahead and try that again. I hit find. And okay, let's try this again. All right, try that again. Okay, yeah, it looks like it's not going to find it because of that, but it'll actually give you an arrow and show you where that's at. So anyway, so that's what we would go ahead and do. So we'll let's get out of here if I can, and we'll get this out of here. And if I can get this out of here, we will. Okay, 1 second here. There we go. Okay, so now that I have this right here, what I want to do is if I take a look at my sheet, it tells me what the exterior walls are supposed to be. So let's go ahead and check that out. So what is exterior wall supposed to be? Let's find out. So I'm going to go to here, and I'm going to go to new share, and let's find out what that is. So I'll go to here, and can you guys see this floor plan right now?
Yes.
Okay, so what it says down here at the bottom. Can you guys read what the wall thicknesses are down here? It says exterior walls are 5 inches wide, interior walls are 4 inches wide. So that's our clue. So exterior walls are 5 inches. So that means I'm going to offset them 5 inches. That's what I'm going to do. So I'll screen share that, show you this again, new share, and back to this. And I'm going to offset this one 5. So I'll do that. So my offset command again is right here. I could also type the letter O. The letter O starts your offset command. O, hit my enter key. And then it's gonna be 5. So I type in 5, I click here, and boom, I now have that in there. So now I've got that together. Now let's make sure that my dimensions are right. So I'm gonna go to here, I'm gonna go and make dimensions my current layer. I'm gonna put my dimensions on these. So linear, I'm gonna go ahead and put this on here, and this should be 42 feet for this one. And is it? It certainly is, okay? Then I wanna do the same thing over here. And we've seen how we do this. Go ahead and click on this. And that is 34 feet. We're good to go there. And then over here, I'm just going to kind of measure these. Let's see here. There's a couple others in here. Yeah, there's a few down on the bottom and so forth. So we'll get to those later because those are a little bit, you're getting a little bit more fussy stuff there. So that's the basics as far as how to get the basic walls in. Now we have those. Now, the next thing I want to show you are a couple of things. I've actually given you some pretty interesting tools here, which I'm going to show you how to work with right now. One of them, I'm going to actually show you how to put in your windows and your doors, okay? I've given you blocks, okay? Now to open your blocks, over here, I've got the block panel open. You type the letter I, and that opens up the block palette over here. Okay, you can do it that way. You can also put in blocks by going up here to insert and going to insert here, and here's all your blocks there. So you can do it that way too. So you got these blocks here, you got them there. It's the same blocks no matter where you select them from. So what I'm going to do right now is I want to place in right now, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. But over here, when I use this block palette, which I like to use, I can use the insertion point and I can choose a rotation. I can have this on or have it off. But if I choose rotation, that means it's going to ask me how I want to put it. So let's take a note of something here. I'll just go ahead and do this one right here. All of these windows are 3 feet. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this one. I'm going to click on this. And this one's supposed to be 3'6" away from the corner here, 3'6". So I'm going to touch it here. And I'm going to slide it over. And I'm going to slide it over a distance of 3'6". I type in 3'6", boom, and I drop it. Okay, and there it is right there. I've got that right there. So that went ahead and put that in there at 3'6". Let's verify that it actually is where it should be. So I'll go back to here and I'll make sure that it is where it's supposed to be. I'll go to here and go to the midpoint, and it should be 3'6", and look at that, perfect. Now, one thing I did right here, which I need to fix, is I put this on the wrong layer, so I'm gonna click on it. If you ever need to change an object from one layer to another, you click on it, and then you tell it the layer you want it to go to. In this case, I want it to go to the A Windows layer. So that goes ahead and does that. So I did that. I'm gonna do the same thing over on this side, so I'll click here. And this one's also 3'6". So I'm gonna go ahead and touch it here and pull it over to the right, 3'6", in my enter key. Then I ask if I want to rotate it. I don't, so I just click there. And let me put another dimension on there, see how we do there. We go to here, and we'll go to there, and then I can go ahead and pull this out so they're even, like that. And that's 3'6", and that one I also inadvertently put on the wrong layer, so you got that. So that is how blocks work. Blocks are something that you will work with. I've given you these blocks to make life a little bit easier for you, so you don't have to draw them all up. So I went ahead and did that. So they're right over here. Now, there's actually one window over here, which is 6 feet tall. It's actually got to be 6 feet. And now when you do this, there's actually kind of a cool trick here. Whenever you wanted to put in a 6-foot window, I'll show you this right here. So let me show you where this is at, first of all, and then I'll show you the problem, I'll show you the solution. So over here, what is the problem? And you guys should be able to see the floor plan one right now. It's right up here. I've got 3-foot windows. This is a 6-foot window. And the 6-foot window is located a distance of 7 feet plus 15 feet 6 to the center point. So 7 feet plus 15 foot 6 is 22 feet 6, okay? So it's 22 feet 6 from here. So that's where it's got to be centered, 22 feet 6. So remember that. I'm going to put it in place, and I'm going to show you how to fix it using properties. So this is kind of cool here. So we'll go back to here. And I'm just showing these different tools. There's a lot of different ways to do this. I'm just walking you through this so that you guys can mature on this. So I'm gonna go here. Same thing I did before. Let me make my layer current though. I'll make Windows my current layer. Click here. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna touch it here. I'm gonna slide it down. And as I slide it down to here, I wanna go 22 feet 6 in my enter key. Boom, it does that. So that's in position right there. That is where it should be. I'm gonna go ahead and drop it. Let me make sure that my dimension is where it should be. That should be centered at 22 feet 6. Let me do that first of all. And once I've got it placed where it should be, we can do the rest of it. So I'll go to here, and that's 22 feet 6. Yep, okay, it's actually broken up in a couple dimensions, but I know it's gotta be. Now, the problem is though, this is supposed to be 6 feet. So how do I fix that? We learned before how to do it. We learned that when you click on an object, you can right click and choose what? What am I gonna choose off of here to change the size of that?
Properties.
Yeah, properties. So down here, you've got an X and a Y scale. Okay, so right now, the scale X, that controls how wide it is. The scale Y changes how tall it is. Do we want to change the X or do we want to change the Y?
X.
We want to change the X. And we want to make it twice the size of what it is. Right now, it's 3 feet. It needs to be 6 feet, so we type in 2. So I type in 2 and watch this. I do that. And it went ahead and put that together right there. So I've still got that. Okay, that just went and changed. That just, oh, okay, that did something else there. That's fine. Okay, what did that do? I don't know what it did. All right, but that's okay. We'll just go ahead and drop it there. It should still be 22 feet 6, and it is. And let's just verify that this is 6 feet now. So I'm gonna go ahead and click here and go to here. And it is, that's 6 feet. So there we go. So we have that. And now that that's how you go ahead and deal with that deal. So now you've got a basic idea as far as how to work with blocks and how to put them in. And there's a few other things that I put in here for you. Okay, one of them I actually put in here, which I'm being a nice guy right here. I put in your fireplace, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and the fireplace should go on the walls layer. So I'll just use A walls. And I'll click on fireplace. Okay, now look at this. I've got this particular link. I can just click right here and it'll drop the fireplace right here. So notice this right here. The base point is the upper left corner. I click here, boom, drops the fireplace right in there, and I can rotate it, which I don't need to do, and boom, that's in place. So I went ahead and did that. This is how I'm just decided to make this a lot easier for you. Now, there's one other thing I'm going to show you. I'm going to go ahead and put in some other walls here, just so you guys get the idea here. I'm going to put in a polyline here. And this wall needs to be 13 foot 2 from the inside. So I'm going to go over here, 13 foot 2, 13 foot 2, boom. And I'm going to go down here. And how far do I need to go? I need to go down here a distance of 12 feet 11. So 12 feet 11, boom. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go and pull it right over to here. And I'm just going to stop and I'm going to park it right there. So I've got that. And then my wall has to be offset. And my inside walls are 4 inches. We learned that before. So I'm going to offset this one 4 inches. So I'll do this, offset this, and now I have that wall there. So I've got that in place. So that's all pretty good. And we learned before about the trim command, so I could just go ahead and trim that out. So I go to trim and just get rid of that. Boom. Okay, so we got that. Now, I did something for you that I didn't have to do, but hey, I'm being a nice guy. What the heck? And what I'm going to do right here, I'm going to put this on the 0 layer. I made the kitchen elements right here. So I click on the kitchen elements. Okay, now watch this. I've actually got this set up so you can just drop it right here. Here's your kitchen elements. We're going to go ahead and drop it right here. So we go ahead and drop it right there. Boom. And then it wants to rotate it. So you can go ahead and do this. And we go ahead and just drop it. Boom, there it is. So you got that in place right there. And you'll notice that the kitchen sink is kind of like to the side of the window. That's just how we put it together. And then you've got this other thing here. So that is how you put the kitchen in. So I did that for you. So you don't got to do all that individually. Now, there's a few other elements in here that you guys are going to place. You're going to place walls. You're going to place doors. You're going to do some other things. But I did the worst for you. I'll just show you one more thing now, which is going to be one of the doors here. I've got a couple double doors. I've also got some other doors. So I've got a 5-foot door here. Let's see, it goes to the center. So let's see here. So that's a 5-foot door. How did I do the doors? Let me change the doors here. So I'm going to go here. Now I'll go to doors. I'm going to go ahead and drop a door in here. And the door is right here. So I'm going to go right from this location here. And I'm going to go, I have to go to the outside of it. So there, I made it to the center of the door. So I actually have to add a little bit. So I got to go 5 feet and then another 18 inches. So it's going to be 6 feet 6 inches. So I can go here and go over 6 feet 6. I think that's right. So I think that's okay. So it's right there. I'm going to drop it right there. Now, once I've dropped it right there, one thing I have to do is I've got to set it so that this little tail actually is where it should be. So I'll just use the move command. So I use the move command and I'll move it starting from here and grab it from its endpoint and just slide it up here and it should snap right to there. So I've got that. So we're looking pretty good. Let me verify it is where it's supposed to be. You always check your dimensions, make sure they're where they should be. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a measurement from the center of the door. Let's see here. So it should be 5 feet to the center of the door. All right. Yeah, I guess I'll go from here to here if that will be the center. I guess, okay, 5 foot 4.5. Okay, that's not right what we want. Let me figure this out then. It would be 5 feet. So it'd be 6 foot 6. Let me make sure that's 6 foot 6. So I'll go from here and then over here. That should be 6. Yeah, so that's 6 foot 6. So that's correct. Now, here's the next thing. Now this door, here's the interesting thing about these doors. These doors are what we call dynamic blocks. So if I click on this door, you'll notice all these grips show up. These grips are really helpful. For one thing, you can actually use these to determine whether or not it's a 4, 5, or 6 inch wall. So if I did that, that's a 6 inch wall. And in this case, I want it to be 5 because that's what this drawing is. So that's cool. What else do I have here? Well, another thing I've got to do here is I've got to click on this and I can actually change how the door opens. I can choose its actual appearance. In this case, I want it to be open 90 degrees. So it looks like that right there. So that is actually how that should fit right there. So that's how we have that. So that is how that door fits right there. And then from there, we've got that in place. So like I said, the 6 foot 6 would be correct. If I wanted to go to the actual midpoint, I'm not sure if that's actually going to work, going to the midpoint. I don't know if that will. It's got to go to the midpoint. Will that work? I don't think so. Yeah, that's not working so well. But I wanted to go to the midpoint of that door, okay, which is a little problematic. Let's see here. Do I have another door here? I think that's the only one. Okay, so in this particular case, that is something that, yeah, that's one thing I did. Looks like there's a question here. All right.
That was me. I just wanted to let you know my brother just asked if I could pick him up from work. He can't drive yet and my parents are out, so.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
Okay.
Do what you got to do.
I'll watch the video later. I just wanted to let you know. I didn't want to just leave.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for letting me know.
Okay, bye. Have a nice
good night. Yeah, you too. Thanks. Okay, so what we got right here is I've got a little bit of a problem here, but we can fix it. You can always fix it. And what I'm going to do is first I'm going to dimension my door, make sure it's the right size. So is it, okay, that says 2 foot 6. It's supposed to be 3 feet. So I have to change that first of all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on this And the other thing I can do is I can actually change whether it's a 3-foot door, 2'6", whatever else. So it should be 3 feet right there. So we've got that. Okay, now to get this dimension now, I'll show you a couple little tricks here. So I'm going to go to here, and I'm going to go and I'm going to dimension it from here, and I want to go right to the midpoint of this door. So to get the midpoint of the door, I'm going to show you a cool trick. I hold my shift key down, I right click, and I can use mid between 2 points. Mid between 2 points allows me to specifically pick the middle of the door here. So I go to mid between 2 points. I go from here to here. And when I do that, it gives me that 5-foot dimension, which is exactly what I wanted right here. And I can go ahead and place that right along there. And that gives me that place right there. Question?
I'm gonna eat.
I'm sorry? Question?
Oh, my bad, my bad, my bad.
Okay, not a problem. All right, so I got that right there. So that is how we do that. That is how, I'll do that one more time for you to see that. Okay, so I'll do this one more time. So to get that, once I've got this placed right here, I would go here to put the dimension. I'll click it here. And what I want to do is I want to do a dimension to the center of this door. So to do that, I hold my shift key down. This is an important tool. Hold your shift key down and right mouse click. All right, do that right now if you're not okay. Shift right mouse click and you'll see this. This allows you to have a shortcut menu to pick a different point. In this case, I want mid between 2 points. So I'll go ahead and pick here and here, and that's how I'm able to go ahead and get that 5-foot distance right there. It's right to the center of the door. There's other ways, but that's just the way I'll show you right there. You could also just draw a line and do the dimension of the line and then erase it. A lot of different ways to do that. But that's how we go ahead and do that. So that is how we put the doors in. Okay, and then the rest of these, I think you guys can figure out the rest of these. I think you guys can figure out the rest of those. Those are pretty, the rest of it is just going to be working with it and putting the dimensions in. And when you're all done, it will look like this here. I would recommend you print that out if you can do that. But I did a lot of the blocks for you. As I mentioned, I've also done the bathroom blocks for you, the sink, the toilet, and the shower. I did all those for you. So you guys are good to go there. And yeah, so that should give you enough to get moving on this whole thing and making good progress on this. Looks like I did not give you a, looks like there is a bathtub, looks okay. There is one other thing I will show you here, which is a break line. Like when you're gonna do the stairs, on the stairs, I'll go ahead and show you what this is because this is something that is kind of new. There is a thing called a break line. Break line, you're going to notice is right here. It's on the stairs, okay? So a break line is something that is, can you guys see that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. A break line is something that is an architectural element that means we're stopping our particular graphic, demonstration right now to see this right here. So you have that right there. So you have this going on. So you have that, and that is what we have going on right there. So you have that, and then what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to show you how to put that in. So to put that in, I would go here to my new share, and I would go over here, and what I'd do is once I created my stairs, which I'm not going to do right now, I'll just show you how would I do them. I would go ahead and I could go, let's see here, 13'2" over, and then 4 inches. And then, yeah, that would go over, what's that, 9'4"? Yeah, it's 9'4". So I'd go ahead and I'd go to A walls and go down 9'4". So a line, and I would go 9'4" down from here. So I'll go from here. Yes, I'll go from here and go from here. Boom. I'll go 9'4", 9'4", boom, which gives me this here. And then at that point, I would be going over down here, and I would be creating this 4-inch wall, 4, like that. And then I would go up. And let's see here. Yeah, and so I'm just going to go and I'm going to bring it right to here. There we go. And then at that point, I would go ahead and begin to put in my stairs. Okay, so the stairs, let's see here. Stairs are in there. You got 3 foot. Okay, looks like you just got those kind of placed right there. So I can go ahead and start this. Now, I gave you guys a little bit of latitude to place the stairs, and sometimes people find that confusing, but the stairs are 9 inches typical. That's just the term I use. It's not typically going to always be that case, but I'm just going to go here, and I'm going to use this just to kind of show how this works. And I'm just going to use A walls for this one too, and I'm going to go here. I'm going to start with I'll make a polyline, what the heck. And I'm going to go and I'm going to start right from here. I'm going to go down 3. What the heck? And I'll go over probably 3. It's 4, 5. 3 will probably work. 3. Then I'm going to go over, and the distance of these right here, 3 foot 9. So that means that this would be 3 foot minus that. That'd be 3 foot 5. Okay, so 3 foot 5. Just doing a lot of math in my head, and then 9 inches over. So 9, and then over this way. And we do this, and we pull it down like that. So we have that in place. Okay, so I have that right there. Now at that point, once I've got that one in place, I can just copy them. So I'll just go ahead and copy it. You could make an array too, but in this particular case, that's probably just gonna be just as easy to do it this way. And what I'm doing right now is I'm creating these and making myself an array of stairs. Okay, as I go down here. And you'll notice as I go down here, I'm going to start to run out of this situation here. I'm gonna keep on going. And typically, if you ever go up a set of stairs, there's typically going to be, in most residential homes, there's going to be 13 risers. 13. Okay, so I'm going down here, and I don't think I even told you guys how many to put in here, but I'm just going to go ahead and march it on down. And we'll go ahead and stop there. See how many we have there. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I got 14. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, exactly the same. Okay, so now to make your break lines in these, okay, once you got your stairs in here, and by the way, it looks like to me that the opening is the opening for the stairwell, for the opening for the kitchen is just kind of it's just going to be pretty much like 3 inches off the end of the stairs is what that's going to be. So I'm going to go a line. I'll go here. I'll go 3, just so it's clear. Okay, 3 inches over, and I'll go ahead and just go there like that. And then that's going to be a 3 foot door. It's going to go down here and go over 3 feet. And then back over to here, I'm going to trim it up. So I'll go to trim. So I'll trim it, and I'll get rid of these here, right here, this and this, like that. Okay, so you got that. Now at that point, I've got these right in place. Okay, so I've got all those. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and I'm going to create a break line. Okay, so first of all, what I need to do is over here, I've got that. Okay, looks like I did something different there. Okay, so then what I have to do is I'm going to go over here and go over here. How far do I want to go? Over 4. Yep, 4. Then I'm going to go down, yeah, I'll go down right around about that far right there. And that's about what I have there. Is that right? Yeah, that's about right. So I'll just go ahead and go there and I'll stop. Okay, so I got that. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw my line. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a line here. I'm going to go ahead and pick a line that goes through something like this. Okay, something roughly like that. Okay, and I'm just kind of eyeballing it right now. But let me show you something that's really kind of cool here. To make my break line, I would do this. I would go ahead and I'd go up here under my Express tools, okay, Express tools right here. So you got home, insert, and so forth, then you got Express tools, and you got this break line symbol. Okay, watch this. So I'll go to the break line symbol, and it asks me the first point for my break line. I'll just go ahead and I'll pick a point. Oh, what the heck, I'll pick a point here, and I'll pick the second point. What the heck, I'll pick it there, and I'll just say the line, I guess. All right. All right, does that let me do that? All right. All right, hang on, why is that doing that? Let me try it this way. All right, let me just do it this way. Okay, let me go, okay. Okay, second point, boom. All right, and then it asks where do you want the break symbol, so go ahead and click it there. All right, so once you've done that, it's gonna create that. That's what it should look like, okay? So 1, 2, 3, I kind of did a little bit differently. So let me try it one more time. I'll just go ahead and go here, here, and I'll go ahead and put it here. And it goes ahead and gives me the break line. Now the break line right there can be adjusted. Mine's a little bit extreme. So I can go ahead and take it, and I can go ahead and I can go ahead and shift the vertices. I'm gonna turn that off because that's really kind of irritating me. My selection cycling is kind of killing me right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pull it down a little bit. You know, it kind of like make it a little bit more like this. Pull it down, because you can just copy this too once you get it together. Oh, went a little too far. And so we can go ahead and go here and go over a little bit. And we can do, I'll just leave it like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna leave it like that. Now I got the basic thing in there. And then you can just kind of like pull it into position so it's how you want it to be. So it can be a little bit more, you know, to your liking. You can kind of like just kind of make it, and it might take a little bit of dinking around to get the hang of it. Okay, that's just the way these work. Okay, so just gonna deal with it a little bit, kind of get it looking the way it should. And then you're going to go ahead and do that. So once you get it basically the way it should, then you can copy it. So you copy it and just grab the whole thing and just do this kind of a thing like that. Now once you've done that, you understand what you do after that. You trim it out. You trim out the elements in between, which is what we're going to do here. So we're going to get rid of these things. And you may have to click more than once to get rid of these things. That's pretty normal procedure. And that's how that works. And there might be a couple on top of each other. That's pretty normal. Like that and that. Okay, it's like clean these up. And then when you got that right there, this is just, AutoCAD's very forgiving, let you do all this kind of stuff. And you just kind of chew these little elements out of there until they're gone. So that is how we go ahead and put that together. I can go ahead and continue that. I can continue that trim here and here like that. And it's going to chew that out right there. And then we got that. So that is how we go ahead and put those together. We go ahead and adjust it so that this is what it looks like. And that is how we go ahead and make our trim work. Like that. Okay, that's how we go ahead and make that work. Okay, so that's the basics of this exercise right here. The rest of it is just kind of like learning how to work with these blocks and so forth. And it might take a little bit of dinking around. If you need to watch the video a couple times, just go ahead and do it. I go through this step by step. I've also got another video out there that goes through this. So we've got these right here. And that right there brings us to almost 8 o'clock. We're doing pretty good here. Let's see here. So that is, okay, so before we leave off discussion of this, are there any questions about this right here? Are there any questions about this particular exercise right here? I know we're kind of like throwing a lot out there, but right now, are there any things that I kind of were obviously things I left out? Any questions about that at all?
The only one I had was the door, how open it was. I just missed that. You went over, I just missed it.
Yeah. The door, what you do right here is when you go to the door, you get this triangle right here. This allows you to select the different kinds of displays. So I'm going to click here and you got 30 degrees, 45, 60, or 90. 90 is what you're going to want to have though, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yep, and then you can also click on this and actually pull it to its proper configuration. Please note, it's supposed to be 3 feet, okay? Make sure you do it correctly, and then make sure you dimension it. So you're gonna wanna put the dimensions in like I did on the drawing. I'm not, right now, I've got some cleanup to do on this one right here. So I'm deliberately not doing everything. I don't wanna do everything for you guys. I wanna kind of give you guys a little bit of a, you know, make you do a little bit for yourselves. And so we got that there, and I've got this, and so I'll go ahead and pull this down if I can. Yeah, there we go. So that's what it's going to look like as you go through here. So that is how we go ahead and put that together. Very good. That's awesome. Okay, and then let's see here. And then let's see. I don't know if
I had a quick question.
Yeah.
Is there a certain angle or something you want the triangles for the breaks to be in, or is it just basically customized and make sure they both look alike?
No, I just make them look alike. Just do your drawing. Just kind of eyeball it. Do the best you can. Like what I did right there doesn't match the drawing perfectly. Okay.
Okay.
So just get one of the break lines to look correct, and then copy it. That's the best way to do it. And then trim it out. Okay. Make sense there, Eduardo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, very good. Okay, we are looking good here, guys. Okay, looking very good. Okay, I think what we're going to do right here is that's probably going to be a good stopping point. That's going to take you some time to work on that. And like I said, like we do every week is that's going to be it for right now. So anyway, again, just to kind of go over what we did there is I've got this. I will post this when I'm done. I also have some exercises out on YouTube that go over this right now. And let's see if I can do this real quickly. If I go out to here, I'm going to change my screen sharing real quickly here, do a new share. And I'm going to go ahead and make this my new share, which I guess is, let's make sure I got that. We'll go to here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that. And so you're seeing this right now. Can you guys see the floor plan right now, the PDF of the floor plan?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I believe what I've got out here, I've already posted this. I've actually got floor plan 2 assignment Southfield week 4. I've got this here, and I've actually got a video out here that shows exactly how to do this. Okay.
Check your dimensions. Then you go to my dimensions.
So I've got this right here, and I kind of go over the step by step. This one, I didn't do the blocks on this one. So that's something that I kind of made you guys go through it, but you won't have to do that on this one. But I go through everything here. So I've got a video that goes over this right here. I've got the blocks here, so you guys I've improved the blocks, so the blocks are, you know, a lot easier than this. But anyway, this is from a little over a year ago, year and a half ago. But that's something I got out there too, and that's available. So that's all content that we have there. So I'm just going to go ahead and stop the recording right there, and